Hey guys, this is Malinki. Welcome back to my channel, Voice of Malinki. Today we will talk about what is living and what are the properties of living organisms. And if you are new in my channel, please subscribe my channel, and if you like my video, please do like, comment and share my video. So here we will specifically talk about the properties of living organisms. How we can differentiate between living and non-living organisms, and what are the defining properties of living organisms. So first property is growth. This is the first property. Now a multicellular organism grows by mitotic cell division, that is mitosis. Cells increase in number as an organism grows. So here you can see a baby mice. This is the baby mouse. It is growing. It is growing, and that means cell division is occurring. And it becomes the adult mouse. It developed its whiskers, right? However, cell division occurs in all cells except muscle cells and nerve cells. So try to remember it always that muscle cells and nerve cells, which are neuron, they do not divide. They do not divide. So this baby mouse and this adult mouse both have same number of neurons and muscle cells. Now in animals, growth occurs up to a certain age, whereas in plants, growth occurs continuously throughout their lifespan. Okay, so we will see here that unicellular organisms grow by cell division. In unicellular organisms like bacteria, growth and reproduction occurs together. Therefore, reproduction is synonymous with growth in unicellular organisms, because when a bacterial cell divides, its number increases as well as growth occurs. Now in multicellular organisms, growth and reproduction occur separately. Because a person can grow up to a certain age, then it may reproduce or may not. It is based on his or her choice. Okay, so increase in body mass is also called growth. And non-living objects also grow. For an example, mountain grows as it accumulates materials like sands, dust, pieces of rocks, etc. on its surface, and its body mass increases. However, this kind of growth exhibited by non-living objects occurs by accumulation of materials on the surface. But in living organisms, growth is from inside, right? So, if you see this mouse, cell division occurs inside the body and it grows and is called intrinsic growth. So, growth therefore cannot be considered as a defining property of living organisms. Instead, intrinsic growth should be considered as a defining property of living organism. That is very important point. You have to understand that point. Next is reproduction. This is next factor. So reproduction is the biological process by which an organism reproduces an offspring who is biologically similar to the organism. Now reproduction is of two types, sexual and asexual. So sexual reproduction involves the fusion of gametes, whereas asexual reproduction does not involve the same. So there is no gamete fusion in asexual reproduction, and in sexual reproduction there will be the gamete fusion. That is the main difference between sexual and asexual reproduction. Here you can see fusion of gametes is occurring that will make the zygote. So this is the sexual reproduction. This is called sexual reproduction. Okay, now in yeast and in Hydra, asexual reproduction occurs by budding. This is the asexual reproduction. So that is occurring by budding. In budding, a new yeast cell is generated from the parent without any production of gamete. In planaria, so what is planaria? It is the flatworms. So in planaria, you can see here regeneration occurs. That is, a lost part of its body gets replaced. So if you cut this worm into 3 pieces, right? You are cutting this worm into 3 pieces. Now all of them will grow into a new animal like this. So in this first picture, growth occurs downside, and in the second picture, growth occurs both upside and downside, and in this third picture, growth occurs upside. So planaria multiplies by fragmentation. An adult body gets fragmented like this. It is getting fragmented and grow into new organism. So that is one more type of asexual reproduction. And there are many organisms which do not reproduce, like mules, sterile worker bees, infertile human couples. They cannot reproduce. Hence, reproduction also cannot be defining characteristic of living organisms. Try to understand this point. This is also very important point, that reproduction is not a defining characteristic of living organisms. And the third is metabolism. That is the third property. So the sum total of all the chemical reactions occurring in our body is metabolism. In our body, continuously various chemical reactions are occurring, and their sum total is metabolism. All living organisms, let it be unicellular and multicellular, they exhibit metabolism. No non-living object exhibits metabolism. However, chemical reactions can be demonstrated outside the body in a test tube in laboratory, right? So chemical reactions we can do it in the test tube, that is the replica of metabolism. So whatever is occurring in our body, we can perform it artificially in the laboratory. Likewise, isolated metabolic reactions can be observed in vitro. So what is in vitro? In vitro means you are doing artificially something in cells which are isolated from your body. So you can isolate some cells from your body and keep them in the laboratory condition and you can work on them. That is called in vitro. And what is in vivo? So something which is happening inside the body, that is in vivo. Okay, so here we are performing some metabolic reaction in the in vitro condition in the cells, and that is called isolated conditions because you have isolated some cells from the body and you are performing some metabolic reaction, you are observing some metabolic reactions in these cells. Hence, metabolism is not a property of living beings. It is not a property of living beings because you can artificially perform it in laboratory like in the test tube. You can artificially do the same thing in the laboratory. But metabolism happening in a cell is a defining characteristic of living organisms. Mind it, metabolism happening in a cell is the defining characteristic of living organisms. Therefore, cellular organism of the body is the defining feature of life form. Cellular organization of the body is the defining feature of life forms, but metabolism itself is not a property of living beings. And next property is consciousness. This is the fourth property. So consciousness is the ability to sense their surrounding and respond. So this plant is sensing the sunlight and responding by bending towards it. Human beings, they are the only organisms who are aware of themselves. So it is called self-consciousness. So human being is the only organism who is aware of himself, that is, they have self-consciousness. Consciousness, therefore, is the defining property of living organisms.